Hi, I am Layla Letitia. For those who do not know me, I am a life coach. I help you shift your mindset and I also help you manage your mindset towards success. Now, we like to implement three main processes during this mindset shift, which is to learn, to level up, and to lead. And what that really entails is that you are allowing yourself to adapt new ways of thinking. You are leveling up by adapting those new ways of thinking, and that you are taking those new ways of thinking, you have adapted those new way of thinking, and you are leading your life towards success as well as your mindset. Now, I thought it was very, very important for me to just put together a really quick training on how to maintain a healthy mindset during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, I am not going to get too involved in this slide here. It really is just an informational slide. You can always go back to this slide if you want to actually read it in more depth. I do suggest that you go to the CDC website to get more information regarding symptoms of the coronavirus. These are just a few, and I just wanted to put this quick chart in so you can see what they're saying symptoms of coronavirus is, the flu, allergies, etc. But like I said, please visit the CDC website or follow your local health department's website. Now, we all know the power of your mindset. And so this is just a quick reminder that remember, change the way you think, change your life. Now, I thought it was very important so we can just bring in a quote from someone that we all are familiar with. We're all familiar with Will Smith, right? And he says, I wake up every morning believing that today is going to be better than yesterday. And this is all about what a hopeful mindset is, right? Always hopeful for the new day because a new day brings what? Brings about new opportunities. And as long as we have new opportunities, we have the opportunity to have a better day and to remain hopeful. Okay. Now, I have pulled together just six simple mindset hacks that you can practice today to remain hopeful during this pandemic that we're going through together. Remember, we're all in this together, right? You know, everybody's affected by this pandemic. This is something that it is not, it doesn't have a color, it doesn't have an age, it doesn't have a race, it doesn't have a religion. It is just a pandemic. It's a virus, and this virus is touching all of us, right? So it's important for us to keep hopeful, to remain hopeful during this pandemic because you know lots and lots is going on. You know, we got a lot of people who are unable to work, a lot of people that work for small businesses who cannot pay them salary. You know, the effects are can be very damaging to some, right? But it's very important that through all of this that we remain hopeful during the pandemic. You know, and we have to really practice a level of patience, right? Because we have to believe and understand that although we are going through this now, this is only temporary and it shall too pass, right? So let's get right into the 6 mindset hacks that I chose for this presentation. Of course, there are many more. I just chose to focus on these 6, okay? So the first thing that I want to focus on when it comes to maintaining a hopeful mindset is that I want you to feel the fear, but don't act upon that fear. Okay. Again, I want you to feel the fear, but I don't want you to act upon that fear, right? So I want you to take a moment to honor the fear. I want you to write it down in a journal. I want you to question your fear, right? Like ask yourself, what are you really afraid of? What are you really afraid of, right? Sorry, what are you really afraid of, right? What are you really afraid of? I want you to look at what the fear is telling you. Because remember, fear, although, fear is definitely, nobody wants to live in fear, but fear is always telling us something. It gives us that like, that little feeling in our back of our necks that just the hair just stands up in the back of our neck. It just is telling us something, right? It is warning us about something, right? So I want you to take a look at what the fear is telling you, right? I want you to feel it in every sense of your body. Now, a lot of times, if you pay attention when you fear something, right? Or when you are angry or when you are emotional about something, you can feel it in certain parts of your body, right? I feel the fear for me personally. I feel it all in my neck and my shoulders. I get so tense and I can just feel it, and I'm like, oh, but it's very important to recognize it and to feel where that fear is in your body, right? I want you to, be friendly with it, So a lot of times when when I get like really tense and I start feeling the fear in my neck and in my shoulders, I kind of like, rotate my shoulders, relax them a little bit, so that I can loosen that fear up, right? After you have sensed where you're feeling that fear in your body, I want you to thank it for being there, honor it, and then I want you to release it. Okay. I don't want you to let the fear take a hold of you. I want you to feel it as it exits. I want you to wish it well, wish it well as it leaves you, right? And then I want you to get right back to your positive emotional state because again, as humans, we are gonna experience so many different types of fears in our lives. Fear of lack, fear of not being good enough, fear of not getting married, fear of not being able to have a baby. So many fears, but I want you to go ahead and embrace it, feel it, and let it go. Okay? The next mindset hack that I have for you today is I want you to use the reliable sources. Now, I mentioned this for those of you guys who are in my Facebook group. I mentioned very, very briefly in one of the lives that I did is that you have to be very, very mindful of what you're feeding your soul when it comes to this pandemic, okay? There are a lot of conspiracy theories out there about this epidemic. There's a lot of conspiracy theories, and please, I don't want you guys to get caught up in all the theories. And I want you to be very, very careful of what you are reading because there are so many untruths on the internet that you have to be very, very careful. So I always suggest you please rely on the CDC website as well as your local health department's website, your local website. But please be mindful of what you are, feeding your mind because the more stuff you start reading about COVID-19, the more confusing it gets because you don't know what is reliable and you're like questioning everything, you're nervous. There's no benefit to it all. So please use reliable sources and please limit what you are reading when it comes to COVID-19. Next hack is to practice happy habits. This is a very, very important one because being hopeful and, during this pandemic, it requires that we continue to practice those things that makes us happy, right? Now, when fear is high in our bodies, we tend to neglect self-care and we tend to pull away from those habits that make us feel good. But the reality is that even more during this time, we have to gravitate towards those things that make us happy, and we have to practice those healthy habits and skills every single day. So I want you to do whatever it is that makes you happy. If you are an exercise person, please go for a walk, put a YouTube video, exercise to a video, right? I want you to, if you love to journal. If you love to sew, love to knit, I want you to go to those happy places all the time. Never let go of those happy places because at the end of the day, we are all locked down. We're all trying to just, we're all trying to wait this situation out, right? But when we're doing this wait and we're waiting and waiting and waiting and praying that this pandemic is over soon, we have to remain hopeful. We have to remain happy. We have to continue to practice those things which make us happy. Next, I want you to stay connected to others. Now, I know. All we hear right now is, social distancing, stay 6 feet away. Yes, yes, yes. But we are so, so blessed to be living in today's world where we can stay connected pretty easily, okay? Most of us have cell phones where we can call our loved ones at any given time. For those of us who are quarantined with families, take this time to really get to know your family, right? You know, Do things with your children, have talent shows, let them, display their talent, cook together, play board games together. This is a great opportunity to connect with your family on a more spiritual connection, a more deeper connection than we would have done in the past, because in the past we're busy, busy, busy. We're going where we want to go. We're working, and our minds are so every place else but the family. Take this time to connect with your family. Now, for those of us whose families are far apart, please, you know, we have video chats, we have FaceTime on Apple iPhones, we have tons of video chats, we have Skype, we have Facebook Portal. There are so many ways for us to communicate with people. So please stay connected with people. Just be very, very, very mindful that as you are staying connected with people, make sure that these connections are positive connections, right? Because in life in general, it doesn't matter if we were going through this pandemic or not. If people are negative and bringing you down, we need to distance ourselves from those people immediately, right? The next thing we're going to say is pay extra attention to your body. Now we all know this, that when we do not feel well, right? When our bodies are not healthy, when we have a headache or stomach, we're not feeling good, guess what? you know it's kind of hard to be hopeful when we're not feeling good, right? Because you're focusing on the pain, you're focusing on the discomfort, and you're not focused on being hopeful, because right now you're really, really, really focusing on whatever is making you uncomfortable, whether it's headache, pain, whatever it is, right? So I want you to pay extra attention to your body. This includes your nutrition, exercising, meditation. I can't express how much meditating does for me, and how it helps me keep my mind focused and clears my mind. It helps me keep my mindset, you know, to a hopeful mindset, a positive mindset, because if I didn't have time where I meditated, and I would say perhaps try mindful meditation. I love it. That's what I do most of the time with mindful meditation, but it really, really helps me clear my mind, because my mind is going a mile a minute. I have so many thoughts coming in and out at all, throughout the whole day. And it really, really is great practice to just kind of free your mind from all of that. Okay. I want you to be focusing on sleep. Take the opportunity to get sleep, because, I am so grateful for this time, because I have been able to get more sleep. You know what I mean? Because as an entrepreneur, as a person that works 9 to 5, as a person who's really trying to have several streams of income, I'm very, very busy, and sometimes I don't always get the right amount of sleep, right? And we all know that 6 to 8 hours of sleep is good for our immune system, especially during this time of COVID-19. So really, really focus on, getting that sleep, focus on kindness, gratitude, and remember to make your self-care a priority, right? This is a time when you can actually really, really get to know yourself. I like to say, get to know yourself better, right? And so that you can actually practice better habits for yourself, because as you become aware of who you are, you can make better decisions on your behalf, right? And finally, my last tip to remain hopeful during this pandemic is to stay present, to stay present. Now, we are freaking out about this virus because we are worried about the future, worried about the unknown, right? I hope that you can detach from the unknown, because if you focus on the unknown, guess what? You're gonna just be worried, sick, and you're gonna just be worried all the time, right? I love the serenity prayer, where it says, grant me the ability to know the difference, right? To what I can't control, I can't control. So grant me the serenity that I can understand that I may not know the unknown, right? I want you to, yeah, I want you to also watch your mind wandering. Watch your mind wandering. It's very, very easy to fall into deep, dark places if you don't monitor it and watch your mind. So when you see yourself, when you feel yourself or hear yourself going into a deep, dark place, please, please, please watch and monitor and stop it. Stop it right there. Say, no, I will not go there, right? Stop exposing yourself to negative news. You know what I mean? Stop exposing yourself to things that may be harming your ability to be hopeful, right? What I want you to do is I want you to keep track of those who you are connected with, right? And also monitor how you are feeling when you are in those connections, right? Because a lot of times, when you're trying to connect with people, especially if you had a strange relationship with a mother, or brother, or sister, and you're taking this time to rekindle those relationships, I want you to feel how you feel in those connections, right? Honor those feelings and work towards continue on to improve those relationships, right? I want you to engage in your senses and stay grounded, right? So, whenever you are feeling anxiety, increased anxiety, I want you to take a deep, deep breath, knowing that this too shall pass, right? This too shall pass. There is no good for you to worry about a future that is not in your control. What you can do, you can be present. You can actually be mindful of what you do today, right? Be mindful of your interactions. If you're going out in the world, be safe. Keep safe distancing from people. Stay 6 feet from people, correct? Have your hand sanitizer. Wash your hands, right? Avoid, you know, hugging, kissing, people that you know. You have to really, really be mindful. This is only temporarily. Um, do this now, save lives, and hopefully this ordeal is going to pass us soon, right? And we'll be back to our normal life. So hope you guys benefited from these 6 mindset hacks to help you remain hopeful during this time. During this time. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I am a strong believer of meditating. And remember, self love promotes a hopeful mindset. So please, if you are in the practice of mindful meditation, please, as you are in your state, your position of calm, say to yourself, I am myself. I know myself. I am a voice for myself. I love myself. I trust myself. I am free within and around myself. I am grounded within myself. Remember, self love promotes a hopeful mindset.